I've got that Thursday feeling, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready. We need to do a recap of what's been going on over the past week. So much crazy shit, ladies and gentlemen. I believe in the bumblebees. I believe that Ethan Ralph ate the cat. And I do believe that the baby will be black, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit, that Thursday feeling. Press 1 if you've also got that Thursday feeling. I know, it's only Thursday. But if you ain't got that Thursday feeling by now, we're gonna make you get that Thursday feeling, ladies and gentlemen. I've got that Thursday feeling. The gun's got me so jacked up at this moment in time. I just don't know when it'll end. Do you believe in life after Gunt, ladies and gentlemen? Because Gator certainly doesn't. Gator thinks when the Gunt goes to jail, it's the end, it's over. No more. I've got that Thursday feeling. Do you believe in life after Gun? How much more music do you need? How much more getting fucked up do you need to be at 110% for this live stream? We're going to get into everything. Because I do what Godwin Spick don't. Alright. I found out today that Cher was 90 years old. That Cher is 100 years old. Crazy. I know she's just a bag of plastic surgery at this point. Held together by brittle bones, but 99 years old, ladies and gentlemen, whoa. So, where to even begin, right? Because I've had so much on my plate that I wanted to discuss, but with every passing moment, Ralph does something that's fucking crazy! Off the wall, and I have to park whatever I've got planned to address, Ralph writing articles about Cretinosburg, Fat Matt, father of the child bride. He's writing articles doxing Aid and all of her shenanigans, the domestic abuse. I say, we covered that last night, so I'm not going to get into that anymore, apart from just saying this. Aid Zero, for all of her faults, right, is still 100 times the human being that Ethan Ralph is. Is that in doubt? Can that possibly be in doubt at this point? If we're supposed to believe Ralph's lies that she's a meth whore, she's constantly on the fix, constantly high, then wouldn't that, however many hours that interview was she gave to Josh, wouldn't that show signs that she was just fucked on meth? And no, she's just not slurring her words. She seems pretty coherent to me. Law drops of Gator, what's she saying, being paid for his services. Law drops of Nora having to be paid to show up after Ralph went on Vouch's stream and said, I'm gonna make your bitch famous. She was full of law, and I don't disbelieve her. I don't disbelieve her at all. I think she was pretty coherent, she did well for herself there. She did a stream last night as I was streaming, so that killed my numbers a bit. So she's a crone cunt. But, yeah, we covered the article. And in her stream, I think she lays out... that Ralph's site isn't even listed. Isn't even ranked on Google search. It's that much of a shit show. She lays out also that she didn't give Encyclopedia Dramatica his social security number and all of this nonsense. I would say, by the way, that if Ralph really did think that this woman was a whore to the point where he's just insta-replying, come suck my dick, That's what he was doing, right? If he really did see her as this whore, why would he give her his social security number? Why would he allow her to clean his room and all of this nonsense? But we're in this fucking weird web of lies and bullshit, and I don't know what to believe. All I have to go on is the characters themselves. That's all I have to go on. On one hand, we've got a man who ate from the garbage before then eating his own cat. And on the other hand, we've got some 40-year-old woman hooked on Adderall who works at a place that I've actually forgotten. That's how incompetent Ralph's docs was of this woman. But yeah, age zero, Ralph, fucked up shenanigans. I think the most important point that we need to take from this is that Ralph haphazardly tried to ditch Aid in the bin because he knew that grass was now on the pitch and he could play ball. He could play fucking ball in the football game that was Faith Vickers' dirty starfish. So there we go. That's what we need to just lay out there, and that's the most important part. So much stuff is happening with Ralph that it's actually getting buried. Actually important things are being buried. Now, this is a tactic that Sargon used. I stood shoulder to shoulder with fucking Gator and Ralph and Sedan at the time when we were going after Sargon. In real time, the four of us were commenting on Sargon's Patreon being taken down. It was a laugh ride for all. And I remember at the time that V was the most reprehensible human being of all time because he was the person that carried Sargon's water. He was the manservant, and we all made jokes at his expense. Who, bizarrely, has decided to take up V's mantle? But Gator! Shannon Gaines is the man who is not only carrying water for the guns, but is also mopping up the piss and the vomit of his lord and master, Ethan Ralph. And he knows, Shannon knows, that it's a shameful display. Shannon realizes that what he's doing is just sullying himself more than anything. I want to get into the tweets between him, Fagmenko, Kraut, myself. Like, what is going on? I'm going to relight this, and then we'll get into it. So Gator is saying to Godwinson, the pretender. So he's saying to Godwinson on Twitter that he's part of a cult that hates Ethan Ralph. This right here is a cult, and I'm your fucking Heaven's Gate man that I've forgotten the name of, the one with the bald head, the one who does this into the camera and tells you all to die and transcend to the next level. So that's what Gator disingenuously is trying to present as his belief. Gator himself, knowing that he is a part of a cult, that our side isn't grooming little girls to fly out to Dick's mansion to be hooved in the fucking dirty asshole by a pig, by an angry man-titted pig known as Ethan Ralph. He knows that that's not our side. He knows that our side is divine. He knows and realizes that our side, essentially, is the light shining on the fucking darkness. But we're a cult. So Gator, in an attempt to humiliate Trifox, to humiliate Godwin Spick even, he tweets him and says that he's a fool and says that, I mean, imagine having to declare openly that you are your own man and you don't follow Ethan Ralph's orders. But that's what Gator did. That's what Gator did. Shameful display. And he know, like, come on, man, like, you know, we know what went down with Sargon. We were there. Like, it just gets to the point now where I know that Gator is lying to himself and he's lying to the public. I just know that to be true. Esoteric PPPism, the best Chilean of them all, he's been laying out to me on Twitter saying, Look, Gator isn't loyal. He's a coward. He's secretly a snake. He's secretly willing to life Ralph in the back if things get too low. I don't know, man. Like, I genuinely do think that Gator is loyal to the last. I think he's the last person that's gonna jump out of the Titanic and meet his watery end. I think genuinely that Gator sees his fate as tied to Ethan Ralph's. Whilst that is commendable to a degree, I admire loyalty. I've never made any bones about that. I admire someone that through thick and thin will be loyal. However reprehensible their friend is, they will be loyal to the last. I've always admired that in a person. But there's starting to be a point now where Gator is being loyal to what is a criminal evil. Whatever Ethan Ralph's faults in the past, it's coming to light now, and we'll get into this later, that he has committed serious crimes, felonies, whatever you want to call them, but certainly crimes that he could go to jail for. Certainly crimes that, trespass against his probation agreement and his probation terms. So, there's just so much going on, and Gator's loyalty, whilst misguided, it's starting to look very, very suspect at this point. Nobody wants Gator to do an expose. I certainly don't want Gator to hit me up in my DMs again and say, "Oh, I want to defect" and stuff like. No, like, I don't want this, Gator. The last thing I want you to do is come over to our side, because I genuinely do think that people would see you as a Judas and a snake. And whilst you yourself may be trying to make a bit of distance between you and Ralph, I genuinely think that the best way out, Gator, if you really want to go, is just do what Zidane did. Go out for a pack of smokes, don't come back. But the only way these people think is if they defect to the other side, and that will protect them. I don't get it. I really don't get it. You've got that much of a problem with someone, you realise that they're a piece of shit, don't defect to the other side that you've been calling scumbags for the past century. Just go your own way, ride off into the sunset. Do your anime streams. But there we go. So that's what's been going on with fucking Gator and Fragmenko. Even Fragmenko was like quote tweeting Kraut. They're trying to get another monster of the week again. They're trying to set up another T-Clips, another Mundane Matt, even another Kraut, so they can have someone to deflect, someone to go and mock, pillory, forever. Right? For 18 months like they did with Mundane Matt. Matt, no! Let's try and grift super chats and try and maintain the lemon heist. I don't think it's going to work this time. Because there's no... I'm genuinely thinking now, who is a bigger lolcow than Ralph that is active currently at this moment in time? I suppose your nearest comparison is DSP. But even DSP hasn't done half of the shit that Ralph has done. Like, he genuinely hasn't. Like, I'm not just laying it on. Like, even DSP. What's DSP's worst sin? Wanking off on a live stream? Well, I don't know if it's just me, but I certainly saw that gunt jiggle as Ralph was sticking the poo-smeared pig hoof for a second helping into Faith's anus. So, let's just talk about Faith. Let's talk about how there's clearly, like, trouble in paradise at this moment in time. We're working up another smoke. So, clearly there's some sort of matrimonial discontent. Ralph is making allusions on live stream to how his day has been rough. Not because of us, not because of the Aspergs or the A-logs, but simply because something is clearly going on with her and him and Faith. I suspect that she's platinumed Kingdom Hearts. I suspect that she wants Animal Crossing for the Switch. I suspect that the ride is coming to an end now. But with Ralph, you never know what's going to come next. I didn't know he was going to announce a pregnancy in a spiteful revenge article that he was posting to the parents. I didn't know that was going to happen. And then he's walking it back on a live stream. Here's me, right? I've just been told I'm going to be a father. I don't instantly announce it on a live stream or even in an article. I just don't do that because I wait for 3 months for at least a definitive confirmation that this girl is pregnant and will carry the baby to full term. The demon baby! I want that to be at least somewhat cemented before I start throwing it out as a weapon. Alas, Ethan Ralph just decides within seconds of Faith doing the pregnancy test, even if she has done one. I mean, even that's in doubt. We can't believe whatever they're saying. To put that in the article to expose Mr. Vickers as a piece of shit. And then he walks it back on a live stream and doesn't even address it. If I was that proud of being a new father, I'd be declaring it from the rooftops, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? If we factor out the fact that you would spend 3 months just waiting for it to be anything other than a ball of meat, then you would do that. Now, I'm going to like this again because I keep going on these fucking monologues like John Michael Kelly, who thinks that ear juice is LARPing as a fucking zebra. I'm incredibly pro-life. I might be a fucking degenerate liberal bastard, but you know what? I do believe that the baby, if it's real, has a right to survive and a right to live. I don't want the baby to be aborted. That's just me personally. There are people out there that are perfectly happy for the baby to be aborted. Jarbo's sending me personal DMs where he's sending me instructions to send coat hangers to the crack shack. And I'm like, no, man, Matt, no! Matt, no! That baby has a right to life. I don't care what anyone says. That baby has a right to life. But I don't think it has a right to live with Ethan Ralph and Faith. I think the best thing for that child is it either goes to its grandparents, the ones that aren't dying, or it gets taken off them, put in like a social services program, and they can visit it on the weekends. Because if that baby is allowed to live with Ethan Ralph, grow up to be another Ethan Ralph, it's going to be awful. It's going to be history repeating itself. I'm in frequent contact with Ronnie Ralph. Ronnie Ralph, who lives in a trailer in Canada because he's ashamed of his son. He wears a bag on his head because he can't be identified in public as having fathered Ethan Ralph. That's the state that Ronnie Ralph is in at this moment in time. Does Ralph want to be in the same position when the demon baby comes out and starts doing more fucked up shit that eclipses his father, that eclipses its mother? I hope not. I really hope not. Worst thing about all of this is that it's not even like an improbable guess to say that we witnessed the conception. We witnessed this, didn't we? When Ralph is coming inside Faith, no protection, not only giving her the fucking demon seed, the darkspawn, but also a litany of other venereal diseases he's contracted from tranny whores, various other ladies of the night that are local to the Richmond area. We saw that, didn't we? We saw the baby be conceived. When that child grows up, it's going to have questions. First of all, it's going to have questions of, why weren't you there, Dad? Why were you in prison? Why was the only money that you were able to give Mum fucking lemons? 0.0000000000012 of a fucking cent. And secondly, it's going to have questions of, how did you and Mum meet? How did you make me? How did you make me, Dad? What's he gonna do? Because if I'm still around in 18 years, which I probably will be at this point, because it never seems to end. If I'm still around in 18 years, the first fucking thing you're gonna send the son, the demon baby, is the moment of conception, forever immortalized on a stream, on a video that Ralph recorded. Insanity, absolute insanity. But like I say, it's getting to the point now where things not only are getting real, it was getting real when I had to interview the parents. The woman is crying. The mother's heart is breaking in real time. Matt Vickers, I mean, I understand this man's struggle. I genuinely do. I understand this man's Mein Kampf that he's writing. I understand that you've raised a daughter for all these years. You've done your best as a father. I don't think that's in doubt at this point. And then suddenly, she escapes in the middle of the night to be with Ethan Ralph. That is a fucking nightmare. That is a genuine nightmare. Any of you, right, that actually do have kids, just ask yourself, what would you do if that kid reaches age and then Ralph is there? A fucking pig in the long grass, wanting to pig hoof her innocent starfish that she doesn't wipe. You would go Taken. You would go Death Wish 3. I don't care what you're saying. I don't care what Josh says and says that, oh, he's an evil bastard as well. Matt Vickers deserves the rope also. I just don't think that that's the case. I think genuinely in my heart of hearts, if I had a daughter that went to live in Guntsville, Virginia, I certainly wouldn't be pleased. I certainly would be doing everything in my power to stop that from taking place. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. I'm a fucking wild bumblebee thoughts there. Who knows? All I do know is that this is getting to the point where there's now a demon baby involved. There's now some serious criminal action that I'm not going to get really into, other than the fact that Matt Vickers has told me that he's staying offline. He's not going to be doing much more because there's now a serious criminal investigation into Ethan Ralph. People constantly tell me, well, why isn't Ralph in jail yet? I don't know what legal system you live within where the person that has committed a crime is not only arrested, tried, sentenced, and put on death row within a couple of days. It's a process, right? And whatever investigation we do has to be started from scratch by the police. That's just the way it is. They're not going to take the fucking Godwinson files, the Matt Vickers files, the mundane Matt and Kraut file. They're not going to take those files at face value. They're going to do their own investigation. And there's so much to cover. The reality is that the police are probably watching this right now, and I hope they've got that Thursday feeling, because I certainly have. But they're watching all of this shit transpire. They're compiling it. I feel incredibly sorry for the person that's been put on duty to do this. Somebody that has to draw their paycheck from not only watching Ethan Ralph's show every night, watching this shite, watching the litany of fucking crazy-ass streams that go on. But you know what? We are the best A-locks. If you are a member of the police and you're investigating this person, Ethan Ralph, then just know that we're going to make this as entertaining as possible. We're going to really make you chuckle as you're compiling the database on the felon, criminal bastard, Ethan Ralph. I want to talk now about fucking Coach dying. I shed tears. He's with the Angels now. But what lives on with Coach is his legacy. Coach left behind the greatest canonical works known to man. He's told us all not to badmouth LA. He told us all that Jim's cancer was brought on by him being a shameless grifting cunt. Coach Red Pill, wherever you are, man, just know that I, your son, will carry on your legacy. I will cam to the Arabs as you did. I will happily take the cartel cock that you also did when you were sodomized by the entire cartel to get that business deal passed through that generous Josh scuppered for you. Coach, he seems to have gone on like a skiing holiday, right? Based Coach. Coronavirus, lockdown, restrictions, they don't matter to him. He's gone on this skiing holiday. He's fallen over. Poor bastard. Now he's in, like, what appears to be a pediatric ward? He appears to be in a pediatric ward with, like, children's pictures adorned, with like a fucking Disney blanket around him. Maybe that's how far his healthcare stretched to. I don't know. But so he's there now. He's dying or he's dead. I've flown out to switch off the life support machine. His hot broad of a wife is just got my dick in her mouth. Take me home with you, Godwinson. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. You can live in the harem with the Coach Red Pill whores, the hand-me-downs. That's fine. I'll dump you when you reach 25, like Coach, and I'll start again, just like Coach, in another country. Dodging my personal debt, just like my father, Coach Red Pill. But yeah, a lot of what Coach is saying is coming true. Coach's advice, be in no doubt, is the most basic bitch tier shite you've ever heard. Yet, Ethan Ralph, a 35-year-old man, has still not reached the point where he's got these life lessons just under his belt, right? First lesson you learn, folks, is to fucking not badmouth a lay, because that woman scorned will fuck you over. Will just ruin you. And that's what Age Zero in, is it Taki Roo or whatever the fuck she's called? Tachi Roo, whatever she's called. That's what they're doing in real time at this moment in time. People are saying that Faith Vickers is a Godwinson plant. I'm not going to reveal the extent of the gay-op, but know this. Once Faith leaves Ethan Ralph, which is going to be pretty soon, we've already got the fucking interview lined up. We've got the Jeremy Kyle on-stage show lined up, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the return of PPP, ladies and gentlemen. You would not believe what we've got lined up. Now, let's just talk about PPP. I think it's the case where we're both too stubborn to get into a VC with each other, break bread, and talk about our Switch lights. That's what the case is. I've even forgotten about what we're supposed to be feuding about. Is it because, like I said, that he shouldn't have dodged JMK? Right, okay. Is it because, like, I did the interview with Matt Vickers and PPP felt left out, or he felt it shouldn't have happened because I was exploiting an innocent family? Okay, fine. But the reality is, me and PPP have been friends for, like, years at this point, and we're just too stubborn. The both of us are just too stubborn to get into a voice call and hash this out. I don't know how it's gonna end. I don't know what's gonna end here. But, like, you know me, there's never gonna be any ill will towards PPP. Ever! PPP is a mensch! And, you know, we just need to sort that out, I suppose. What else has been happening? T-clips? Shall we talk about T-clips? So, for the first time, right, I watched the Beluga Lee stream that Ralph and Warski did. And during that, they said that T-Clips is my whore, that myself and T-Clips are in a relationship. She wants the Godwinson D, and various other things about her weight, about how she is the mother of Wendy's, the fast food restaurant. My extent of communication with T-Clips is all public, apart from me saying, do you want this T-Clips exclusive? Do you want this show? It might be a bit too risky. It might get you the strike that's going to get you removed after the Andy Warski strike. Let's put your channel on a 2 strikes, then you're out fucking mode of living. But yeah, it's just baseless. It's baseless! And you know what? Like, I'm sure she's a great person. I'm sure she's absolutely fantastic. But all I've got to go on to get my little pecker horny is these weird selfies that simply repel me. Let's be real! They repel me. But I'm sure she's always been great to me. Like, even, like, my association with T-Clips goes back years. She was always, like, archiving and clipping my stuff back in, like, 2016 at this point. So, yeah, T-Clips. There we go. Let's talk about Phantom. Oh, it's Phantom again. He's gone to jail. He's sharing the cell with Anders Breivik. I'm going to leave you on that note as I light this again. Phantom is in a prison of his own making. Phantom grifted them poor mother's tears. And the Norwegian cops came in and said, "Fuck you! I'm gonna smash up the bedroom you live in. I'm gonna harvest the furry porn you collect. I'm gonna monitor the Discord, and I'm gonna throw you in a padded cell, you fucking sick cunt." So that's what's happened with Phantom. It's not because he's too psychologically broken to carry on streaming Ethan Ralph. It's not simply because he's trying to put distance between himself and that degenerate Discord that is apparently like a haven for pedophiles and furries and whatnot, right? It's not because of that. It's because he's in jail. Brian, let's talk about Brian. During the Ear Juice Entertainment extravaganza, the bonanza of content that Ear Juice served up last Saturday, we were really treated to a cacophony of greatness. Not only did we have the pre-show that streamed during the actual show there because our timing was off, not only were we cucking JMK in live views, but we also had the JMK Ear Juice debate. Ear Juice had spoken to me privately about how he prepared to talk about nature versus nurture, to have an actual serious debate with JMK about how a person like Faith came into the world. I was on board with that. I wanted to listen more to John's deranged ramblings about how he wanted to hang the father. What seems to have occurred is they got stuck on the minutiae of Sen being a pedophile, which he is, not in doubt. JMK does a very underhanded thing that I didn't think was possible. He just decides to tap himself out, bring in Sen the pedophile, and Sen the pedophile, who's high as a kite, who is the most repellent human being I've seen, even including Ethan Ralph, starts just, I don't know, I mean, I felt bad for Ear Juice during that exchange, because Ear Juice had come to the table with a serious argument that he wanted to have, only to be railroaded by a pedophile, only to be instantly psyched out like I was by what seems to be lolicon in the thumbnail. I don't know what that anime thing is, but to me that looks very suspicious. It's about children for a start, drawn children at that, and I don't know why JMK tries to psych us out by putting that as the thumbnail, because it genuinely is fucking weird. Then what seems to have occurred, ladies and gentlemen, is JMK thinks that Ear Juice's, the mask that Ear Juice wears when he does his dance-alongs for his Christmas show, he thinks that that's a giraffe. Now, is it just me? Maybe I've gone fucking mental because it's Thursday, but do giraffes have horns? Do giraffes legit have horns? If giraffes have horns, then maybe JMK's got a point. But that mask that Ear Juice wears is clearly a deer to me. It's clearly a fucking deer. Stretch is telling me... well, fuck, we've got to get into King of Pod as well after this. So Stretch is telling me that not even Ear Juice realises what the fucking mask is. I can tell you one thing, Stretch, in fucking Ear Juice or whatever. It's not a giraffe. It ain't a giraffe. Oh, but in John's mind, it's a giraffe. And then putting an image of a giraffe on is like an epic own. So already we're in fucking Bizarro universe territory. We then move on to the highlight, the main draw of the night, which is Hejas, which I'll try and do as many promos for as I possibly can. Great show. I genuinely do enjoy that show. They have Brian on. Brian, King of Pole. Brian's there. He tells me beforehand he's there to do a show or something like this, to do a rap battle. I don't know. I thought that was a great idea. I told Brian, beforehand, you need to prepare for this, because, Ear Juice is a legend who will beat your ass in a rap battle. Ear Juice has been preparing for this. You need to at least get some fucking lyrics down so you can freestyle them on Hejas. King of Pole decides not to do that. He decides to, I don't know, be friendly with the people that he's been going against on Kiwi Farms. I don't know. I literally don't know what the fuck's been going on between these people. But then what follows is a smackdown of King of Pole. It's a great moment of IBS just in itself. You've got Stretch going at King of Pole. You've got King of Pole calling Stretch an irrelevant nobody, which is always going to win people over. You've got people calling in, not only about King of Pole, but about JMK's long history with people who are in jail now for being cunts. You've got people calling in about Phantom's Discord, again, about Phantom perhaps being the worst sort of degenerate possible, and it was a good show. Earjuice was broken. Earjuice had to listen to what seemed to be 5 hours of people telling him that other people he was friends with were pedophiles. There we go, shit. There's nothing else, is there? Maybe I've forgotten something. Maybe there's some autistic spurg in the comments calling me a bastard for not addressing their one moment that I've seemingly forgotten. But you know what? There we are. There we go. That's the show. That's the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to send this to Grimace Cheers. If Grimace Cheers doesn't want this, it's going to VHS Archive or T-Clips or any of the other various clip channels that are around. Take care, fuckers. Jew!